Welcome to Fantasy Plus. We're ready for mock 2, our mock draft 2 of the season. It's our last episode of season 1, and then we get ready to talk about 2026 season. Alec, Phil, ready to do some mock drafting. We've been talking about it all off season. This is the culmination of everything.
This is the best part of the draft, of the whole season, really. We're ending season 1 with a bang, because there's nothing better than mock drafting or drafting. The worst part about fantasy is playing the fantasy football. The best part is just doing drafts.
Right.
So I'm excited because I missed our first mock. So I'm happy to be here for round 2. And get ready because that Brandon Aubrey is getting off the board at 1-1. And I'm gonna turn this thing around.
Phil, any thoughts before we start?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with Alec. This is the time when everybody kind of still has hopes that their team could win the championship. It all kind of changes after week 1, probably week 2. So, again, everybody's feelings are pretty high right now. I love mock drafting.
No players are hurt.
Exactly, yeah.
That you know of.
Yeah.
It's great.
We'll see. Just so you know, we're doing, it's a 12-team mock draft, snake draft, standard scoring, half-point PPR, quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex, 7 bench spots if we have time to draft that many rounds. Kickers and defenses have been added back for this mock draft too. Not that you have to, because Sleeper doesn't force you to pick a kicker like other platforms do, or defense. So with that, Alec, you're on the clock. Let's do that.
So let's not waste everyone's time here. If you're picking 1-1, you have 2 choices. You're picking Jahmyr Gibbs or you're picking Bijan Robinson. If you want to get crazy, you can pick Jamar Chase or Puka Nacua, but everyone will laugh at you, right? Because that's just, I mean, let's be honest here.
Yeah.
These are the highest floor with highest ceiling guys. You can take one of these 2 running backs and not address running back for several rounds if you trust their health. I think Jahmyr Gibbs has a little more explosive factor, and, I mean, that team needs him. You watched how they operated with phasing out Montgomery last season, and Gibbs is the guy on that team, and they are still a team that while they do a lot of damage through the air, they prefer to kill you with the run, and no one else but Jahmyr Gibbs is the guy they choose to kill you with. They didn't really replace David Montgomery. Pacheco's in. I don't know how much he'll even see. He's hurt right now. So, yeah, no doubt about it. Jahmyr Gibbs, that is my 1-1. I don't know if I can pick him. But I'm tapping his face over and over. Oh, there it is. Yeah, Jahmyr
There
Gibbs
we go.
off the board to Team Jack Doles at 1-1.
All right, so Bijan goes 2, Chase goes 3, St. Brown goes 4th, Nacua goes 5th. Phil is on the clock at 6th, and then I will be picking 11th. Sorry, I didn't set that
I'm
up.
going to say this won't happen in your home league. I think a running back goes before one of all 3 of these go, in my personal opinion. But maybe I'm wrong there.
You think McCaffrey goes probably 3?
I think he's one of the 3 that goes.
Yeah.
I don't see it going this way, but who knows?
I'm going to have to do this on the fly. But there we go. There's the board. Phil, you're up.
Yeah, no, again, I'm surprised. You know, when our fantasy league for Wood, I went Jahmyr Gibbs number 1 overall. Felt like he kind of needed to grab that running back first. And yeah, I am shocked that there seems to be 2 really great running backs that are still on the board all the way at picks number 6. Kind of tied between both of them, Christian McCaffrey and Jonathan Taylor. Again, I really like Jonathan Taylor, probably a little bit more, but you can't. I mean, Christian McCaffrey's Christian McCaffrey. He does things that very few running backs have ever done, let alone can do right now in the league. But I think Indianapolis is kind of due for maybe a restart. Maybe Daniel Jones back from the injury can kind of help get Jonathan Taylor going again. I'm going to go Jonathan Taylor at 6, I think.
Right, yeah. Taylor's my 3rd. I go Taylor over McCaffrey for me.
Yeah, it feels safer, but there's always that chance of, what if we get another year of him being healthy, of Christian McCaffrey being healthy.
Or if you get one of the 3 years of him being injured.
But it's tough to get that baked into your first overall pick.
Right.
Yeah. What if? So that feels like a solid choice.
I am trying to. There we go, I think.
Okay.
There we go.
So then McCaffrey goes right after, JSN goes, Cook goes, Jefferson goes. I'm on the clock at 11 out of 12, making this fit the screen.
Yeah, this is interesting. The turn, the first round turn here is very interesting.
Right.
I want to see where you go before I give my opinion on the first round turn.
And I feel like 11 is one of the more awkward positions to be in, because if you're at 12, you get to pick back to back.
Right.
But if you are at 11, you still have a guy who's picking twice before you get to go
And
again.
you really, you have to kind of plan around that guy. You have to look at his team and think like, oh, who would he take?
Right.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, which in this case it's ADP, so it's not like
I don't know. Team 11 is a pretty savvy drafter.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna do what I've been doing, and taking what I think is the best upside ceiling running back available.
Mm-hmm. The anticipation.
The suspense is killing me.
I'll do it. I'll do Hampton.
There we go.
Oh,
okay,
Hampton.
interesting.
And this is how I meant. So before you make your second pick, this is how the first turn probably should go.
Right.
This is your running back run.
Yep.
This is where they are going. So if you are a guy that took Puka or Amon-Ra or whatever, you're obviously going to be watching this turn as closely as possible because you're going to want to get a running back before they run out. And
Right.
they always run out about here.
I drafted 10 in the Wood League. I was hoping Cook or Jefferson would fall to me at 11. I'm not going to waste a lot of time here. I'm going to take what I want to be my number 2 running back, and that's Chase Brown.
Yeah, again, like the running backs are flying at this
Right.
point.
There's our first quarterback.
Yeah, I don't think that's an interesting decision. But
So after Hampton, for those listening, and I'll watch
Yeah.
it, for the Hampton, then Genty, Barkley. So I took Hampton, then Brown in the second round. Henry goes, Josh Allen goes. Team 10 picked Josh Allen in the second round. Then CeeDee Lamb, Nico Collins, which puts Phil back on the clock.
and what does Team 9 really do? You're going receiver
Yeah,
in this,
that's
which is
crazy.
very interesting.
And those are auto picks. So.
Yes.
Right. Very. I mean, it makes just about as much sense as picking a quarterback this early, I feel like. Again, kind of in a weird spot right now where I'm looking at running backs again, trying to get those guys while we still can. There are 2 great running backs right now, but it depends on who I think is going to really have the better season right now between Devon Achane and Kenneth Walker. I think Kenneth Walker obviously is going to get kind of that premier back recognition in Kansas City, especially with Mahomes still returning from that injury. But Devon Achane, I mean, is he the only guy that can touch the ball in Miami right now? I mean, there's a very high chance that he gets used a lot this season. Kenneth Walker went to my high school. I got to go Kenneth
you go.
Walker,
So
I
it's the high
think. There
school.
we go.
That's a good RB2.
Yeah, no, I love that. Again, I was going to go running back either way, so.
So as long as the foot injury isn't that bad, I love Kenneth Walker
Yeah.
really across the board. And I think it all depends on the workload he's going to get because we know he's had injury issues and he's been frustrating over in Seattle.
Right.
But it just feels like this Chiefs team has been dying for a running back since Kareem Hunt. Like,
right.
how far back do we have to go until they had a serious answer at that position?
Larry Johnson,
Right.
Priest
I mean,
Holmes.
right. So you look at the money they committed to that guy, and you think about the potential that offense still possesses. To me, he's an excellent pick in the second round. I know in the Wood League, I knew I wouldn't get him. I had the turn, so I took him at 13. Because I think he has, as long as his foot is okay, a chance to win your league for you. 2
So
tight ends went in the second round. That's never going to happen.
Yeah, let me just recap. So after Walker goes Achane, then AJ Brown, then Trey McBride, then Brock Bowers. Now Alec is on the clock.
So, I have a couple choices here I probably shouldn't have because we got Josh Allen and 2 tight ends. Maybe in your home league it'll happen.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You got to be prepared for these wild cards.
You do. So I want to leave this turn knowing I'm not going to pick in 23 more turns with the receiver addressed, obviously. I can't go running back. So looking at this board, there's actually 2 really good options I have here, and I'm going to get a little dicey here. So Drake London's an unbelievable receiver. No way around it. I don't like his team. And that's what scares me about taking a guy at Drake London at the second round. I think you'll get points, you'll get production, no way around it. He's going to be a good second round pick for you. I'm not saying he's bad, but I am saying between him and George Pickens, I actually think I like George Pickens more because I think that offense is going to be really good this season. So it's kind of a you can't lose. Like either way, I'm thrilled to have Pickens or Drake as my receivers. I'm not going to take. Do I take both of them?
Ooh.
And then just don't worry about receiver anymore. That's interesting.
Go hero wide receivers.
Yeah, go. Well, I mean, I have my running back production in Jahmyr Gibbs. Now, the thing about running backs is they fall off a cliff.
Yep.
And we're waiting for that cliff to fall off. That doesn't mean you can't find a running back 2 in the 6th or 7th round.
Right.
You certainly can.
Just not a star.
No, you're not getting a star. But I look at the remaining running backs on the board. Kyron Williams, I'm not a huge fan of in this season. I think it's going to be more of a running back by committee approach with Blake Corum, and I also think that offense doesn't necessarily overly champion him. Jeremiah Love is on a bad team, and that's what scares me about him. I get the upside. Josh Jacobs is safe as long as his off-the-field stuff doesn't relate to his fantasy playing time. But none of these guys I look at, and I'm like, oh, yeah, my goodness, these guys are going to save me. I need one of these on my team.
Right.
So actually, we are going to go back to the wide receiver pool. We're going to go wide out. And as long as Malik Neighbors is healthy, and I believe it, and I think that offense is set to take a stride, it's going to be between him and Drake London, as I'm talking out loud.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm going to go Drake London.
Okay.
I was just talking about how he's on a bad team, and he is, but as my wide receiver 2, I feel really good about the fact that he'll get a lot of love and a lot of production. So I actually feel pretty good coming out of these first 3 rounds here.
Yeah. And you got to look at some of the other teams that have already picked. I mean, most everybody has a running back already.
Right.
So, again, you're kind of good maybe avoiding that, picking them up in the next round when everybody else already has their running
So,
backs.
normally, my rule is to get out of the first 3 rounds with 2 running backs, but I had to look at the board here. And really, the running backs that you're still using a 3rd-round pick on a guy, and the running backs are on the board, yeah, I get it, but I felt like I can get more production out of that receiving room than I could filling in my RB2 right now. So that's the way we went.
So here's the update for those listening. Love goes, Jeremiah Love, the rookie, and then Kyron Williams, Breece Hall, Malik Neighbors, which Alec was considering.
I was considering Neighbors. I like him a lot.
So the running back run continues. Phil is on the clock for
Yeah, I mean, I had Malik Neighbors queued up in this for this pick is specifically. I am gonna go wide receiver, I should say. And again, looking at who's left, I mean, you guys got guys like Rashee Rice, getting back with Patrick Mahomes again, Chris Olave, and that new look New Orleans offense, who I think was going to be pretty good this year. Devontae Smith, I really like, but I'm going kind of a wild card. I'm going Tet McMillan out of Carolina with this pick. I really think that Bryce Young is going to need that guy to throw the ball to. I thought he looked really great as a rookie, even though he didn't necessarily have those big numbers. But I still think that that's just going to keep building and building. And again, kind of a little out of left field. So again, you're kind of banking hopefully a little bit more on the upside with him.
All right, now I did this on purpose.
Okay.
If I go running back, here's the wide receiver run, and I'm at the end of it. Just for those that haven't done as many mock drafts.
Oh, you tried to
Alec
time
and
the
I.
wide receiver run?
Yeah, I'm just trying to show people if you go running back, here's who you're left with at wide receiver. For those who haven't done as many mocks as Alec, Phil, and I have done in the last month, this is the most mocks I've done.
Yeah.
In any season.
Good.
I've probably done 100 by now across all the different platforms.
Right.
But I'm actually going to do something just for the sake of this exercise. I'm going to do something a little crazy.
You're going third round?
No, I'm going to do another running back
Wow.
Another running
and
back.
just see.
Just hammer your
Because
flex home.
I think there's some decent second, third tier wide receivers that I would be okay with as my starters.
Okay.
But we've talked about how the running back just falls off the cliff
Sure does.
at a certain point. So I'm going to go with Javonte Williams.
Okay.
Jacobs is higher on ADP right now, but there's some concerns. He may not have any punishment this season. It may not be significant, but I like Javonte, Dallas, and then Ibuka goes, Jacobs goes, which means there's only one wide receiver that was taken. So I'm definitely hammering wide receiver here. There's 2 names I'm thinking about here. I'm either thinking about Ladd McConkey or Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson is a target hog or half-point PPR. I know it's the Jets offense.
Yeah, that's why it scares me.
But somebody's got to catch passes. They're not going to score 0 points and have 0 yards.
but they'll score 3 points some weeks.
Right. But at least he'll
They'll
make
get to 12. It'll be 4 field goals and a safety probably. They'll get to 14. Yeah.
your former quarterback, Phil.
There we go.
My former quarterback as well. So,
True.
but this is a guy that gets like 35% target.
Sure.
Of the targets. So that's why I'm considering Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
But and I don't want to go with 2 Chargers just in case the O-line collapses.
Right.
So otherwise, I'd go Ladd McConkey here. So I'm going to go with Garrett Wilson.
I do like that pick.
I'd consider Jalen Waddle, but I'm going to go with the guy that's going to get a lot of touches, a lot of receptions.
He's boring. He's and that doesn't mean he's bad. He's a boring pick in the fact that he'll get a floor, he'll get targets. Very rarely should you expect him to win your week because that means the Jets have to do well.
Yeah.
and that you're asking for a lot. So
You're asking for a miracle in some weeks.
I'm asking for this website to.
So
This
yeah,
webpage.
and I what's funny is I think I view Josh Jacobs as the same way. Another very boring pick. Josh Jacobs is going to get you points. He'll probably get you a touchdown a week or every other week because they love using him in goal-to-go situations. Packers fans may say they use him too much. They love themselves some Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
But he'll rarely give you that 35-plus day, but that's not always what you're drafting for in the 4th round.
So, quick update. After Garrett Wilson, Lamar Jackson, Cam Scatterbo, McConkey, and then Travis Etienne Jr. Phil is on the clock.
Yes, going wide receiver again. We can keep it very short. I can't believe he's still on the board. I figured he would have gone right after during that wide receiver run. I'm going Jalen Waddle with
Yeah.
the Denver Broncos again.
Yep.
New
I
look
talked about
quarterback, Bo Nix. I think Sean Payton's one of the best offensive schemers in the entire league. I think Bo Nix is really going to thrive having a guy like Jalen. I mean, Jalen Waddle was great in Miami, and we know how much they struggled at times at quarterback. So the fact that he was able to do that, him coming over to Denver, new look, new season, whole new vibe for him.
I considered him.
Definitely
So,
up there.
Obviously, I want to walk you through exactly what my mindset has been like. So my name of my running back cliff is DeAndre Swift. Once he's off the board, I look at these running backs and I go, I don't know what I can expect. How much are we going to get out of David Montgomery in Houston? What is Quinshaw Judkins is on a really bad football team, especially in offense. What am I going to get out of that? Travion Henderson might not have the starting job in New England. So just because I wanted a running back doesn't mean I need to pull the trigger now when the guy I wanted is gone. You need to read what's going on. So in the last, 6 or so picks, 3 of them are running backs, 2 of them receivers, 1 tight end. Obviously, we're going back into picking up those last few running backs, which means there are good wide receivers out there for the picking, and that's what we're going to do. We're still going to just go with the value here. I don't feel the need to pick quarterback or tight end early, too, because keep in mind also, like, fantasy drafting isn't to fill
The roster,
spots. It's not filling out your team. You could have 4 really good wide receivers on your team, and then week 1, flip that for a running back you want. It's all about retaining value after the draft ends. So, with that said,
Before you pick, we'll be right back.
Okay, things are happening fast. I need you to pay attention. To start us off, Duncan, you're gonna move into the position for daybreak. Jamie, move here for the noon with George. Then George split off and tackle the 4 with Amber. Jamie, you handle the 5 o'clock show with Brian. Brian and Amber, you guys take the 6. Blake and Nicole quarterback the 7. And to wrap things up, Brian and Amber take us home with the 10 and the 11. Great.
We've got a brand new lineup. Catch all the action weekdays starting on Daybreak.
So Flowers is off the board, Irving's off the board, Bucky Irving and
Yeah.
Swift is off the board.
and Swift was my last guy I wanted before the cliff, before we lost footing on the cliff. So what I want to do instead is I want to go back and try to get that high upside receiving talent. So the first thing I'm going to do is go with more of a floor here, because I have 2 guys I'm hoping boom a little more. I don't know what we're going to totally get out of Devontae Adams for the rest of his career, but I do know that guy is still getting targets, and they love him in the end zone.
Yeah, end
so
zone.
that's a guy that I feel really good about, knowing, okay, cool, I got a high floor, I got a talented receiver, and right now that's my flex. And to me, that's wonderful. Like, I know people like a running back flex because it's guaranteed production, but you can also get a high floor wide receiver for your flex, knowing he's still going to turn out points and the potential of him blowing up. Sometimes it's better for a receiver than a running back. So I got him off the board. Now I want to go a little more, not risky per se, because I do think we all kind of expect a return to form here, but I do think Terry McLaurin is a good pick when you've already picked 3 receivers. So he may have a bad year, right? Because last year he was holding out, he got hurt, it didn't go his way. So he may have a rough year here. But knowing I already have all my receivers filled and knowing that this Washington team may return to form and that Daniels to McLaurin connection we saw 2 years ago, if that's what I'm getting, I'm getting a steal in the 5th round. I feel great taking a swing at Terry McLaurin here in the 5th round.
All right, so Joe Burrow goes next after McLaurin, and then DJ Moore, David Montgomery, Quinton Judkins. Phil's on the clock. Phil, you've got 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers.
Yeah, I'm looking to fill that flex position now. Again, obviously, there's still running backs, one running back that I like in Travion Henderson. I think, solid in the 5th round. I would not hate that pick. Definitely not going to go quarterback now. I am going to go, again, kind of maybe a little outfield. I've been playing a lot of Madden 27 recently, and this guy...
Who's in the cover of that game?
Caleb Williams,
okay,
actually.
fine,
And it's his target, one of his future favorite targets, at least I'm hoping for this season. I threw him the ball. I think he caught 25 passes for me in one game, honestly. I'm going Luther Burden III. I think he is a great young wide receiver. He had... what really wasn't talked too much about his rookie year. I think he's going to have a huge sophomore year.
He is so much fun to watch.
Right.
That guy is a yards after catch demon. They'll just have him sit in the middle of the field, and he'll turn and he'll make a guy miss. He really came into his own at the end of last season.
Right.
He was a bit of a late bloomer, but for a rookie receiver, it's normal. Kind of had to learn the playbook, had to find his role in it. I think the Bears offense is so interesting, and this is me talking about someone else's picks. I'm a Bears fan, so excuse me. But I think what makes them so interesting is that there's a lot of upside pass catchers.
Yes.
We know Colston Loveland is who he is after the second half of that season. We were still waiting for that Roma Dunze breakout, but I feel like he hasn't let down at the same juncture. It's just mainly been an injury thing. And then seeing what Burden's been able to do at the end of the year, it's kind of like I'm trying to think of another team that's close to that in fantasy terms, where there isn't the defined number 1 pass catcher yet outside of Loveland. But it feels like you're taking a lot of lottery tickets because Burden might be that guy you cash in on, or it could be a Dunze, or it still could be Loveland. There's a lot of passing on that team, so even if Burden doesn't become that de facto number 1, you still feel good about picking him where you're picking him because right now we're not sure who it's going to be. It could be him or a Dunze.
Yeah.
All right, just to get everybody caught up, we had Drake May go after Burden, then Travion Henderson, Janarian Price, Carnell Tate. I'm on the clock. Myself and Team 12 have 1 receiver, so that's something to look at. I was actually looking down the board because after I make these 2, I don't pick again for a while. The top guy on my board right now is Tyler Warren. He's going to be probably, other than Keenan Allen, top target in Indianapolis at this point. So I don't normally pull the trigger this early on tight end, but I'm taking best player on the board. The next best player on the board is going to fill out my wide receiver 2. Maybe, you know what? Team 12's not listening. Let's just do this. Let's make the Detroit fans happy. I'll take J-Mo here and hope. Oh, no, he didn't. See?
He was listening.
You knew that was going to happen.
Team 12, write it on it with the snipe.
This is the exercise. This is why you practice, because
Right.
these things can happen. If it's a guy you really want, take him, and don't play the ADP game like I just did. So Warren goes and Mike Evans goes. Okay, so then I'm punting on tight end here at this point because Sam Laporte is the next. Kraft, Kittle, they all have injury concerns, so I'm waiting on tight end at this point. So I got my second wide receiver. I'm going with best player. I could steal Caleb from you.
Oh, I'm not taking. I'll talk about quarterback in a second.
Yeah, that was intentional. You took my bluff. I really think that there's some wide receivers I can get later that I'm happy with. So I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts as my quarterback because I think they're going to get back to form. He's going to be under center a little bit more. And I normally wait on quarterback, but with this build, I'm going to do different than what I normally do.
Yeah. I think it's a smart choice. Again, you're going to be waiting a little bit to pick, and we've already seen teams start picking their quarterbacks too.
Right. This AI auto picks.
Right.
So after Hurts goes Tootin. I'm not as high on Tootin as other people are. I don't know about you guys. Laporta, Adunze. I considered Adunze. I was trying to get Adunze and Caleb together, but that's not going to happen. And then Watson goes. He was on my list of players I thought I could get later. Phil's on the clock.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. I do want to pick up my tight end, but again, we're looking at guys who either are known to not necessarily perform the best in fantasy. We're looking at Kyle Pitts, and then we're also looking at guys that are, again, dealing with those injuries like Tucker Kraft. Again, do I think Tucker Kraft is great? Absolutely, but is he going to be there for all 17 weeks of the NFL season? Probably not.
Right.
And then, you run into this situation here where there's still a couple of running backs you could grab for some depth. I don't know. Gosh, I think it's smart to go tight end here, just for me speaking. And I'm going to go with a guy who actually helped me out a lot last year, and that's Harold Fannin.
All right. So Phil reunites with Fannin. Jaden Daniels goes next. Kyle Pitts, another tight end that might have been on your boards. Jalen Warren, running back, and then Parker Washington for the crowded Jacksonville wide receiver core. Puts Alec on the clock.
You guys ready for draft 2 more receivers?
I wouldn't put it past you.
So, looking at my team, now I feel comfortable picking my RB2. And I love this guy. I absolutely, considering the value he is, J.K. Dobbins is a running back 1 on his team, and you're going to get him in the middle of your round, and he's a perfect RB2. Especially if you're in my spot. When you faded running back for a while after you went hero, it's a bit of a quote-unquote reach, but when you're living on the turns, there are no reaches. Get the guys you want because you have to wait 23 rounds, or picks, until you go back on the board. So I feel great about picking him up. So now I've kind of addressed my RB2 just in a really need to grab situation. And I'm looking at the board, and yes, there is Tucker Kraft. That's a great tight end. I am of the opinion that I can wait 23 more picks, and there will be either a quarterback or a tight end I'm happy with. So I don't feel the need to get out there and I gotta grab myself another one of those luxury positions. There's not much luxury left. A lot of those guys are off the board anyway. So I'm in between running back and wide receiver. The running backs here, not really guys I'm in love with per se. Especially not where I'm picking. I feel like there's another running back deep in this pool that I can wait 23 picks and feel better about. So yeah, we're going to go back to the wide receiver pool. And looking at who I have on my board right now, it's interesting. Because this kind of breaks down to who do you think is going to take off a little bit. And when you're picking these mid-round wide receivers, what is the relationship with their quarterback, and is this offense good? So asking myself all of those questions. Will Marvin Harrison finally be Marvin Harrison? That's a gamble I can take. I do have 4 receivers already off the board.
And this is the 3rd year, right? The 3rd year breakout, maybe?
Right, maybe. It's his, is it 3rd or 2nd different play caller? But yes, it is his 3rd year. I could take that gamble. There are guys, you look at this board and you go like, okay, Metcalf, what am I getting out of him? Sutton, what are we really getting out of him? I could try, and I think I'm talking myself into it.
There's guys with injuries baked in.
Yeah, I'm between Brian Thomas, who is a questionable number 1. He is, for sure, but that offense likes to spread the ball around. And go with the rookie, Mekhi Lemon, and try to buy some upside here. And because I have 4 receivers, and I've already secured my running back 2, I'm going to go with the gamble. I want to see what Lemon can do. Because, again, if this hits, all of a sudden I've hit the lottery. And this rookie who is coming into his own and now has that number 2 spot on this team, all of a sudden is a great boom. So you may be watching at home and thinking, wow, Jack Dole's fantasy team, I can't believe you have 5 receivers on your team. And what I would respond with, and maybe Jack would too, is that it's not about how many numbers of what guys I have. It's if Mekhi Lemon is great come week 8, I'm a great team to flip him around for a serious running back.
Sure.
Instead of trying to color in the lines and fill in the blanks, I feel great about picking value, and that's why I feel pretty good about taking Lemon to start this next round.
And if you're just tuning in, Jack Dole's on the team name is actually Alec.
Can't confirm nor deny that.
You're the one pushing the button, at least.
Maybe.
Maybe he's in your ear. Maybe you got
Maybe.
an
I have IFB in.
IFB in there. So updates, Lemon goes. So then Metcalf, Caleb Williams, Justin Herbert, back-to-back quarterbacks. Do that. Hubbard goes, which puts Phil on the clock.
Yeah, well, we went back-to-back wide receivers, back-to-back quarterbacks. Now we're going to go back-to-back running backs. I'm going to go back with the running back section. Again, I think you're looking at guys who can fill in for my 2 running backs right now. I mean, I've got... Yeah, I mean, I've got Jonathan Taylor and Kenneth Walker already. So really, I'm just looking for a guy who I think has that production and also doesn't have a bye week in weeks 13 or 5. And that lines up perfectly with a guy like Tony Pollard, who I think, with Tennessee, we all know how much I love Cam Ward. But I think that Tony Pollard is going to be that premier running back. I mean, we saw last year where he got a ton of carries for that Tennessee team that was abysmal. I think they're going to be better this year, but again, I still think Tony Pollard's going to get at least a ton of carries. Maybe not a ton of yards, maybe not a ton of production, but he's going to get a ton of carries.
After that, Marvin Harrison goes. The much talked about Marvin Harrison Jr., Tucker Kraft. So there's your +1 from last year, Alec, is off the board.
That's my guy.
Brian Thomas was talked about. Ramondre Stevenson comes up. I feel like running backs after this really drop off. I've got 3, so I'm good. I've got my 2 wide receivers. I got a quarterback, even though I don't always take quarterback that early. So I'm just going to do this build the way it's going. I'm going to look for upside. The Team 12 already sniped a tight end from me, so I'm not worried about tight end. So I could wait on tight end at least one more round. I'm not going to do quarterback. That's ridiculous. I'm not going that crazy in this pretend draft. So I'm going to go with Cortland Sutton. We talked about Waddle and Nix and that connection. Cortland Sutton is great, and I think he's going to have a better time with Waddle on the field. So I'm going to go with Sutton as my wide receiver 3.
Oh, hey, I know you wanted Dak Prescott, but Team 12 also sniped that ball.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I wasn't going to touch Dak. Jonathan Brooks was a consideration for depth because him and Hubbard are going to but I mean, Brooks has had season after season of potential injuries, not potential injuries, actual injuries. He came in injured out of Texas. He's this great star. In the 8th round, I don't know. I think I'd rather wait.
Yeah, this is where there are. It depends on where you're picking.
Yeah.
I think you're fine if there's a running back who would normally go in the 9th or 10th that you really like.
Yeah.
But this is where it gets a little dicey if you don't have your RB2.
Yeah. So I'm looking at best players available for my list. There's a wide receiver here that I don't think is going to get it back around to me. Running backs do not excite me at all in this realm. Jordan Tyson has the injury concern. I'm not looking at Kincaid as my tight end. So the 2 guys I'm looking at right now are either Blake Corum or Chris Godwin. I like Chris Godwin as a possession receiver. He would get a lot of targets and a lot of catches. Baker Mayfield didn't get his contract, so he's probably got something to prove. So I'm going to go with Chris Godwin here in the 8th round, pick 8-2.
That feels like the right choice. Oh, between him and Corum, I would take Godwin too.
Yeah.
Corum's great, but he's an investment. You got to wait to see how that backfield shakes out a little more.
Right. And maybe if I'm the Kyron manager, I want Blake Corum.
Right.
Just to see how that goes. Otherwise, Jordan Mason was somebody I thought would get back to me. So there goes Jordan Mason. RJ Harvey goes. Rico Dowdle goes. George Kittle goes. Phil, you're on the clock. You already have a tight end. You have 3 running backs, 3 wide receivers. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with wide receiver, running back right now. Again, I still really like Harold Fannin. I think I can get a solid backup to fill in for those bye weeks at a later time. And again, there's only 3 teams left that have not picked a quarterback. And I'm looking at the quarterbacks remaining. They're still all in that same kind of tier right now for me. Mid-level fantasy quarterbacks, a lot of great NFL quarterbacks, obviously, but a little bit different when you're drafting for fantasy. So I'm going to leave that alone. I am kind of leaning towards wide receiver. I do like Michael Wilson for the Cardinals a lot, but I'm thinking about getting a guy like Jordan Tyson, a guy who with a lot of upside. Again, I know he's dealing with that injury, but I'm really liking this New Orleans team this upcoming season. But I think Michael Wilson is probably a little bit more secure in his spot right now. Again, I think just a little bit, we're in towards the middle of the draft right now, towards the end of it, honestly. So I think you're just looking for guys that can kind of help you out when it comes time to it.
All right, let's take a quick break because I missed the break, and we'll be right back and figure out who Alec picks with his 8th and 9th round picks.
moves fast in West Michigan. Your news should keep up. Wood TV is breaking out of the box to meet you where you need us. The headlines matter, but so do deep dive investigations, hard-hitting news, weather on demand, moments of pride in local sports, documentaries, movie reviews, fantasy leagues, life advice. Total access anywhere you are, anytime. On air, online, and streaming now for free on Wood TV Plus. They say nothing comes for free.
But I beg to differ.
Wood TV Plus is available now for free. Stream your favorite newscasts, exclusive coverage from your local content leader, in-depth forecasts, keeping West Michigan informed and safe, and do it all for free. No cable, no credit card, no antenna. Just everything you love about Wood TV 8 streaming for free. Get Wood TV Plus today for your smart TV.
Welcome back, Fantasy Plus. It's Mock Draft 2. Let's get you up to date on where we are. Phil took Wilson with his 8th round pick. Then Michael Pittman, Kyle Monangai, Jordan Addison, and Blake Corum, as we were discussing, as a possibility. Alex on the clock for 2 picks in the 8th and 9th round.
Yeah, so this is kind of where I make my big draft philosophy statement. Unless it's like the 4th round and Josh Allen's on the board, or any top 2 tight ends on the board, you have no need to draft a quarterback or a tight end in your first 4 to 5 rounds. I think the value in this part of the draft and beyond is so good that the difference between having a Josh Allen and a Matt Stafford is really different compared to, let's say for my team, a George Pickens and a Alec Pierce. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's the value of where you're picking guys in rounds. Really think about the cost that your pick is.
Yep.
And I don't think, like, I look at the tight ends remaining. I love Dalton Kincaid. That is an offense that's going to throw the football around. He's a proven receiver. He's a proven guy that gets points, that gets attention. Is he as good as Colston Loveland? Points-wise, no. But is that difference tolerable compared to what you're losing by missing out on a 3rd or 4th round running back? Absolutely. So I have no problem taking a Dalton Kincaid, shoring up my tight end position. And normally I don't plug away quarterback and tight end in the same spot. But I'm looking at the quarterbacks, and there still are guys that have a little upside. And you can still kind of take a swing with your first quarterback. Jackson Dart showed a lot, especially as mobile as he was before he went down with the injury. So there's a great shot that Jackson Dart could be a quarterback that puts up numbers in the same ballpark as these Lamar Jacksons and these Josh Allens, considering how well he runs with the football. But also, that's my first quarterback off the board at 9. I don't feel great about just reeling him out, but I do know come picks 11 and 12, there's going to be a Jared Goff, Matt Stafford, Jordan Love, a guy with a high floor who's never going to rip the world apart, but you do know will move the ball around and get you points. Ultimately, a quarterback who just gets you 16 points a game is worth its weight in gold in itself. Right. So I have no problem looking for that, as opposed to taking a big swing at a superstar in my second pick, like that one AI did.
Yeah.
You should shame him.
I thought that Jackson Dart was going to be my keeper quarterback franchise player, but I've kind of faded him as the preseason has gone on. But 9th round, I mean, like you said, Alec, you could find a second running back on the waivers or late in the draft. So.
Right.
Okay, after Jackson Dart goes Krosky Merritt, then Jordan Tyson, then Jaden Reed, Travis Kelce. Team 7 takes a second tight end, which puts Phil on the clock.
Yeah, no, definitely going to go quarterback with this one. I'm tied right now between 2 guys. One is the reigning NFL MVP, Matthew Stafford, and the other is Bo Nix. If I go with Matthew Stafford, obviously you know how great the Rams are and how loaded they are. But, if you go with Bo Nix, you can kind of double up because I do have Jalen Waddle already.
Yeah.
Double stack that. And, Bo Nix is obviously a lot more mobile than Matthew Stafford. I don't know if Matthew Stafford is going to be as good as he was last year. So for that reason, I'm going Bo Nix in the 9th round.
Makes sense. And I was just going to say, with that defense, which we have defenses and kickers available for the auto pickers. And the auto picker took the Rams.
Stop it. Don't do this in your home league.
Yeah.
Stop. This is not you. If you're anyone else, you go yippee, great. They're taking defenses now.
Yeah.
More actual players for me.
Right.
Because I guarantee you, if you're picking one of the first 5 defenses before the last round of the draft, or second to last, you're probably going to drop that defense come week 6 or 7, or at least bench it, because you're going to be moving around for matchups. Cut it out. Stop drafting defenses. Stop drafting kickers before the last round of the draft.
We saw that happen in the Wood TV League
Sure did.
last weekend. After the Rams goes Trevor Lawrence, Quentin Johnston, Matt Stafford, as Phil was considering, which puts me on the clock. I need a quarterback. Sorry, I don't need a quarterback. I have a quarterback. I need a tight end, but I'm going to wait on tight end. I think I've already made that point pretty obvious. Plus, everybody else has Team 11 doesn't have a tight end. But I'm fine waiting on a tight end.
They have 2 quarterbacks to no tight end. I love it.
Yeah, mock drafts are useful tools.
Yeah, these auto drafts sometimes.
Yeah.
Don't take them as gospel.
Yeah,
because
right.
there will not be a team that does this.
Yeah, it's good practice to know if I go heavy running back,
Yes.
what wide receivers are
What does
available,
the field look
or
like?
vice
How do I
versa.
play my different strategies?
Yeah.
Those are all valid things, but
Yeah.
don't think the second round or the 5th round or whatever round comes, and I'll for sure have this guy, because that's baking in the fact the AI loves drafting quarterbacks.
Or if you're a Rams fan, oh man, I'm gonna have to take the Rams in the
Yeah,
8th
right.
round to get the Rams.
I mean, you actually might. There's always
Yeah.
that one guy in a
Right.
league who reaches for a defense.
And as we always say, know your league settings. Maybe defenses score more points in your
Sure.
league. Who knows? Okay, back to me making a pick here. I'm looking at out of the camera, so I'm gonna switch that. I think I got to take the guy that I think is going to do better and not wait around anymore. Don't worry, it's not Jason Myers. I'm just scrolling down here. I think DeJon Stribling. Yes, I'm probably reaching a little
Yeah,
bit,
you went up and got him in our Wood League, too. You're a big Stribling guy.
but Stribling, that might be who I might be as my +1 for the 2026 season. But other players that I thought were going to be there weren't there, so at this point, I'm not playing around. I thought Tyler Warren was going to be there. I got sniped. I thought Christian Watson was going to be there. I got sniped. So I'm going to go with Stribling. And then Aaron Jones, he won't be the start of the whole season. We'll see. Ferguson goes. So these teams are doubling up on tight ends.
We love it.
I'm waiting on tight
We
ends.
love it.
Yes, we love it. There's one tight end I would consider here, and that's Isaiah Likely. However, I'm still going to wait. I'm interested to know what Stephon Diggs does in Washington. Is he more of a help of Terry McLaurin, or is he just another star for that offense? But I haven't touched running back in a while, and I believe in Kenneth Gainwell and what he did in Pittsburgh last year. And Baker he's done dump-offs before. Bucky Irving can get hurt, so I'm going to go with Kenneth Gainwell here and see if some of these younger wide receivers can come back around. Diggs goes right away. They were listening. Texans, Wandell was also on my list. I'm sure he was on your list, Phil. And then Josh Downs goes.
Yeah. It's kind of banking on him being there for me.
Yeah, 2 picks away from you.
Yeah. I'm not upset about that because I can get a guy who I wish was still on the Raiders and honestly looked very good in that Jacksonville offense. I'm going to go Jacoby Myers with this next pick. I think him and Trevor Lawrence now have a full offseason and kind of get comfortable with each other. I think he could be due for a really big year. And again, he's my 5th wide receiver. I mean, again, if there's a bye week and I need a guy, I'm ready to bring in a number 1 target for an offense as, my flex or as a backup wide receiver.
After Myers, Mahomes goes. That's the second quarterback on that team. Likely goes, the second tight end on that team. Then Concepcion, I thought, might get back around to me. The Broncos go, and now Alec is on the clock for the turn, 10-11.
Now we take some more swings. This is the part of the draft. Once we get to 10, 11, you look at your composition first off. And I did a very classic hero running back strategy.
Yep.
I have my guy, pick everyone else. So now after this point, I feel pretty good. My needs are addressed. I probably could have waited on tight end or quarterback, just looking back, if I wanted another receiver and running back. And there were a couple that piqued my interest. So if I did this back, maybe I'd change that. But other than that, I'm pretty happy. So now we take swings. And I think Matt Golden is the first guy I take a swing at a less crowded backfield than last year, losing Romeo Doubs to New England, and he got his first touchdown in that playoff game against the Bears. So you just hope, first round pick, has speed, maybe a disappointing rookie year, but that shouldn't be enough to sink anyone's valuation, especially where we're picking.
It's mostly going to be him and Watson, right? And
Yeah,
two
him and
receiver sets.
Watson. Reed is also going to be in that backfield too, so there's talent there, but I just like taking a lottery ticket there.
Yeah.
And then looking at who else is kind of still here, we could use maybe a little more just depth at running back. This would be more of a positional pick. I'll take Rodriguez. Just kind of a guy in a committee.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll get more of a bigger share. Maybe he won't. I'm okay with either way. And if you look at my team and you're thinking, well, Jack Doles, what happens if Jahmyr Gibbs gets hurt? Yeah, we're obviously in trouble. But the hope is I can flip a receiver for a running back, or the other hope is the fact of life is if you're picking 1-1 and your 1-1 gets hurt, you're going to be in a bad way no matter who you took.
Right.
So that's the good and bad that comes with picking first, but I feel pretty good for my team overall.
All right, recapping, Xavier Worthy goes after that. Then the Seahawks defense, Rashad White, the Eagles, and now Phil's on the clock.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you guys. I'm kind of regretting my Harold Fannin pick now a little bit. I think I could have probably kept going with wide receivers and held out a little bit. That being said, though, I do think I want to address tight end again, and I'm going to get a guy who, again, kind of has just that name recognition a little bit. I'm going to go with Mark Andrews right here. Oh, if I could click on his name, maybe.
It's because
There
I've
we go.
said out loud that I'm waiting on tight ends.
Yeah, right. Got to take them while I still can, right?
Yeah. So after Andrews goes Purdy, Tyrone Tracy, Romeo Doubs, who's now in New England with Patriots, and then Dallas Goedert. I was hoping maybe Dallas Goedert, but here we go. So the only other team without a tight end picks up Dallas Goedert, which puts me on the clock. I'm still waiting on a tight end because there's no way Team 12 takes a third tight end, right?
You don't know that.
Hey,
Sorry, let me change.
Hey, flexing a tight end, as we learned last year, is a viable strategy.
It is, especially if you can get one that hits. I'm going to do something I did in another league. This might look familiar. I'm going to take Charbonnet and put him on my IR spot. Jason Myers goes right after Charbonnet. There's your first kicker.
all right.
Team 12, come on. You're kicked out. And then Tyler Algier goes after Myers, which puts me back on the clock. So I took Charbonnet as my fifth running back. I can put him in the IR spot and see what happens, see if he comes back. If he doesn't come back, I've already got four other running backs. So I can't believe Aubrey's that high in the list. I can believe it, but obviously I'm not taking kicker. Don't worry. Boy.
See, the ends of drafts are always so funny to me because you either know, like, all right, I'm just going to pick this random guy, or you're, like, really struggling on a couple of people.
I was going back and forth between two. I'm going to go with the rookie running back that might emerge behind J.K. Dobbins for you, Alec, and that's Jonah Coleman out of Washington. Looking for upside here at this point. Then Debo goes, Kaimi Fairbairn, Cam Little, Woody Marks. Phil's on the clock. You're shaking your head.
They took Fairbairn off your board.
Yeah, right. I can't believe he was still available
I
as
figured,
late. No, I was really looking forward to getting Woody Marks. Team 8 and Team 7 for some reason hate me and keep taking my picks like right before. So gotta and again, this is good practice for everybody. You gotta have to be able to adapt a little bit on the fly. Again, I still want to go running back at this spot just because. But again, there's nobody really jumping off the page to me. I got Tyjae Spears in my other draft, and I thought that was a fine, end of the draft pick. Gosh.
To go with Pollard?
Right. Wow. This is a little difficult for me.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to go with Khalil Shakir with the Buffalo Bills. I'm pretty sure he returns punts and kicks for them, so he might be able to grab a couple of extra points that way. Again, we're hitting the end of the draft. I'm one of those people that I kind of have my guys. I'm okay with just taking shots on people that I either name recognition or just I think could have a breakout year.
Sure.
What's really funny is I look at it's handcuff season now, folks. It's the fall. We're drinking our pumpkin spice lattes and watching stuff on Netflix. And we got to take a handcuff now. I have 3 running backs. Obviously, I want a 4th. And the best upside at this pick is a guy who is behind someone who might get hurt. So who are those options right now? Well, I could do Tank Bigsby in Philadelphia in case Saquon goes down. I would love to think the Lions have faith in Isaiah Pacheco, but he's already hurt, and they're signing more guys onto that team. So, I don't want to quote-unquote waste a pick when the pick is in the 13th round, but I don't want to have a handcuff on my roster all season and then he's not actually the guy I needed. So Tank feels safe to me because Saquon has had injury history. It can happen. I hope it doesn't happen, but if it does, I'll have Tank basically on my team who will certainly get a lion's share of those snaps. And now I get to pick everyone's favorite.
Two picks left.
Yeah,
you don't have to pick her.
Yeah, but I may. You may. It's not real.
I'm just saying you don't have to.
Okay. You know what? If I've logged out of the mock draft by accident. If I don't have to, I don't have to finish the draft. No, we'll do.
You're taking your picks and going home.
Yeah, right.
Jared Goff as a backup quarterback
Okay.
in the 13th round is absurd. That's my guy.
I feel more confident in Jared Goff starting for me than I do Jackson Dart. I think Dart has a higher upside, but at this pick, yeah, give me Jared Goff, and then I'll pick either a kicker or a defense, and then when the fake season starts, I'll switch out one of my fake players for a different fake player.
Beautiful.
Hunter Henry goes, Jake Bates, Jalen Coker, Denzel Boston. I was hoping would get back to me as a potential rookie lotto ticket. Phil, you're on the clock. You've got 2 picks left.
Yes, I'm saving kicker for the end, so I'll spare everybody the waiting on that. As far as this pick goes, I mean, you're just looking at depth right now. I really like, and I never do this, I never draft players on the team that I'm a fan of because I never want to have to root for, kind of hate on them a little bit if they don't perform on
You're
top of.
also a Raiders fan.
Exactly. I'm already upset about the Raiders losing. I don't necessarily need to be upset about the players themselves. That being said, Mike Washington, I think, is going to be a really great player in the NFL. It'll be interesting to see how they decide to really split up the carries between him and Ashton Genty to not overly wear down Ashton Genty. And again, you got to be looking at this team thinking they're planning to bring Fernando Mendoza into the program eventually. At what point do that? He's probably going to be needing a really great running back room to kind of help everything out. So I'm going with Mike Washington.
Which I would have predicted that you would take Washington when you said you were going to go with somebody on your team.
Yeah.
Brenton Strange goes, so there's another tight end for that team. The Ravens go. Aronde Gadsden, the Patriots. It puts me on the clock. And the homer pick would be Kenyon Sadiq.
That's a great pick.
I'm just concerned about his off-season hernia cleanup surgery stuff.
But how worried can you be at pick 13? You know what I mean?
I also have Garrett Wilson. Do I want 2 Jets on my team? Not really.
No, that I understand. That might be a bigger
So
issue.
I'm going to go with a different tight end that I've got several tight ends that I'm comfortable with here. I'm going to go with TJ Hawkinson because I think Kyler Murray ignites this Vikings offense, or at least improves the Vikings offense from last year.
Sure.
And I think Hawkinson, look what he did with McBride. He targeted McBride heavy. He's taller, so he can get the ball up to Hawkinson, right? That wasn't Kyler Murray's short slander, sorry. Baker Mayfield goes, the Vikings go, so I'm on the clock. Don't have to take a kicker or defense here, so I'm not. Again, Sleeper doesn't force you to take kickers, defenses, or fill out your roster like other platforms. This is not an advertisement for Sleeper, but if they want to be a sponsor, give us a call. Looking at my last pick here. That's interesting. Oh, because I have it sorted. There we go. This is live. Gonna go with just for fun. Where is he? Sorry, I gotta go way down. This is the last round, so it doesn't really matter that much. I'm gonna go George Halani Love. He might be the starter out of the gate for the Seahawks. Why not take him with the last pick, 14th round, George Halani from the Seahawks? George, good luck this season. Not this George. George Halani with the Seahawks. Okay, after George Halani, Harrison Mevis, Keaton Mitchell, Tajay Spears goes, Phil. Evan McPherson. Phil, you're on the clock. Your last pick
Yes.
of this mock draft 2.0.
Yes, I said I was going to draft a kicker. Unfortunately, I have been locked out of the draft room now for this one. It will not let me back in.
I might be able to
I
do it
kicked
for
you
you.
out.
If you can do it for me, I would love to go with the kicker who is ranked number 1. Will Reichard, probably.
Hold on. It is Riker.
Okay, yeah, let's
There you
go
go.
with him. I love Will
There you go.
Reichard. There we go.
I used my commissioner power.
All right.
For good.
So normally I would just kick a kicker in defense, but we're having some fun here. So we're actually going to fade both kicker and defense, and we're going to give some love if I can find him on this board. My phone's falling apart.
So Kamara went, Jaguars went, Darnold goes, Pinheiro goes.
Oh, I
Last-
lost Eddie
Last
Pinheiro.
pick.
I was really hoping I'd get Eddie Pinheiro. Give me Isaac Tesla. Go Hudsonville.
Okay, there we
Yeah.
go.
Let's go Unity. So ultimately,
I consider Tesla with my last pick.
you never know. But normally I would probably go defense kicker. I on occasion have done the thing where you fade one or the other. You don't pick a defense and you wait to the year to start just to see if any guys are coming not. But let's end the draft with a local kid, and there's a chance that he really starts to explode. It was really funny. He had an obscenely low amount of targets considering the amount of touchdowns that he had, so we know he's good in the red zone. Getting him to be more reliable outside the 20s is the next step, but hey,
Right.
you never know.
Phil, final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I had fun doing this again. I liked the Tesla. I completely forgot about him. I had him on my board, and I completely forgot about adding him. So I can't believe it took all the way until what, round 16 to do that? Round 14?
Yeah, around 14.
Yeah.
All right, well, Alec, any final thoughts?
No,
Wanna
it's
wrap up?
fun. It's. I would suggest if you're at your home league, get where you're picking and then mock draft the heck out of it.
Right.
Yep.
Just to give you some strategies, I think what I did, a lot of people drafting 1-1 would have done, and all of it is about just playing the board, playing the run, seeing when they're happening, seeing what guys you have pins in. A guy I've always wanted to get was J.K. Dobbins. I knew he'd be available as my RB2, so I thought I would just attack a different position until I can come down to Dobbins. So it's all about falling in love with different guys, finding your guys at different prices, and dealing with Team 12, sniping all the players.
Yeah. So just, know what you're doing. Practice from your draft slot. If you know your draft slot, practice different things. Like, are you happy with J.K. Dobbins as your RB2? Chris Rodriguez, are you happy with that if this was a real, are you happy with what I did where I went heavy running backs? And then are you happy with Garrett Wilson and Jamison Williams as your top 2 wide receivers, your starters, with the bench that I've put together? So just practice. Good luck in your drafts. It's draft season. We appreciate you watching.
Use your cue. Don't
Yes.
panic pick. Please.
Yep.
Queue your guys up, and if your guys are taken, at least if there's one guy on your queue and you actually like him, don't overthink it. Stick to your gut. Avoid panic picking. Avoid getting lost in the runs, and you will have. And don't draft a kicker or defense until the last 2 rounds, and you will have an amazing draft season.
Yes. And have
Practice.
fun when you're doing your draft.
Yes.
That's
Have
an
fun.
optional.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Whatever.
I'm having a horrible time, actually.
Practice. Thanks for watching Fantasy Plus. This is the last episode of Season 1. We'll see you for Season 2 when we kick off 2026. Thanks for watching.
You know us from TV because of the news we cover and the weather we forecast. It's time you found us in the digital universe. It's time you check out Wood TV Plus. Take control of the schedule with local news and weather forecasts on demand. You want more? Wood TV Plus gives you more. Original programs, unique specials, and breaking news as it happens. Add Wood TV Plus to your smart TV today.